Lick my balls, bitch.
No, you can't tell me to do that. Sexual harassment. Yeah, to the Eric Cartman.
What?
There's a scene where Eric does like the biggest cry ever. I can't remember what it is in the show, but he just goes like,
Do you mean about the scene where he where Kenny No, it wasn't Kenny. It was Kyle that punches him. He's like, "All right, dude, let's throw down right now, right now."
That's it. Yes.
And then Kyle punches him. And they don't even punch him. He like hits him like slightly hard, like a light smack. Bro is destroyed, fumbling. Even seen something fall apart so fast since the Twin Towers.
Honestly, bro.
Honestly.
And even those went down one at a time. And that kid just fell apart all at once.
If you think about it, that was just the most fucked up game of Jenga ever.
No, not Jenga. It's more like cow tipping, but with like nations instead of cows.
I love that episode where it's Cartman and he's like he's like zooming into like the cloud smoke to this poorly drawn outline of Kyle in there.
Yes. He's out of line, but he's right.
I figured out who did 9/11. It was Kyle. All right.
My God.
Welcome to the Side of Sauce podcast. The world's greatest homemade podcast. As you can clearly tell, it is obviously me once again, and of course my co-host,
Johnny.
Unfortunately, we're not joined by anyone else. No Matthew today. No Gabe. I heard both of them are like stranded out in the middle of like West Virginia. They're like deep within the mountains, like hunting for the Mothman.
Care. No, not Mothman. No. That's what people keep saying, but they're actually out over there looking for a good healthcare plan.
Looking for a good healthcare plan. They're deep in the woods, trucking through, trying to find it.
And they're trying to get the best spot to get a signal, so they can get that 1 bar signal to sign up for that Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever.
So drop a like. 1 like will send exactly like 1 bag of chips to help them, and maybe a bottle of water if we're feeling generous their way.
Of course.
Only if we feel generous, honestly.
Every other comment, we'll send them a single match.
We'll send them a single pair of socks. No, not even a single pair. It's just 1 sock.
Yeah, because
it's just one sock. It's 1 sock. You give it to
me. It's only left gloves.
It's only the left one. I've thought about that.
And they're not even the same style of glove. One's gonna be like a mitten. One's gonna be like a welding glove. One's an oven mitt.
Could you imagine having to survive in the fucking freezing with an oven mitts on?
I'd be a little upset.
Okay, here, let me tell you a story real quick. So, one time, when I was in Boy Scouts, it was like, I like took a break from like going on camping trips, and then like one time I was like, you know what, I feel a crave to go back to the wilderness. Mm-hmm. I hear the mines calling for me. They yearn my name. So like, I decided to go back, and I went with them, and I packed everything. I put it on my bed first to make sure I had everything, and then I put it in my bag. And I got there, and I set up my tent. It was like in like the winter. It was like beginning of January. This happened.
Okay.
I unpacked everything. I forgot the most important thing to stay alive at night: my sleeping bag.
No.
I forgot my sleeping bag, and I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to look like a bozo in front of everyone. I'm gonna look like a deaf fool. I was on
that game because I got mad that you didn't tell me. Wasn't I there?
I think you showed up the next day because I remember like Gabe showed up the next day.
No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, so I wasn't there but I came later the next day. Yeah, and Gabe. Yeah, me and Gabe. So you should have just asked, man.
I should have.
Anyone would have helped you, bro.
Here's the funny part. So like, I didn't, and I was like trying to figure out how to stay warm because it was so fucking cold, dude. It was so freezing. I was freezing my balls off. So I decided to take out every single like thing of clothes I had in that bag, and I just piled it up into like a little nest in the middle of like the tent. And I just slept. I just slept curled up in that fucking nest of clothes, shivering the whole night.
That's hardcore, bro.
It was hardcore and metal as fuck. I woke up, my toes were like blue.
Yeah, I bet.
I was not okay. I sat next to the fire, and our scoutmaster was like, "Hey, buddy, you okay? You good right
You okay
there?"
there, son?
Yeah, and I told them, "No, man, I forgot my sleeping bag." And then they were like, "Why didn't you tell us? We have a bunch of extra ones in our little trailer just in case anyone forgets them."
Yeah,
I
no,
felt like
like,
the
dude,
I felt like the biggest fucking idiot of all time.
dude, I've like, you know, like when you ever get a feeling like you have a memory like that, but you can't remember it.
Yeah.
Because like I can remember something like I remember camping when I was in Cub Scouts, and I can't remember what it was in a camp out, and I was like, I can remember the feeling because I remember like the image of where I was on this rainy camp out, and I was so embarrassed because I thought I was the I think it was like rain protection or something. I can't remember what it was, but I have a memory just like, and then like I didn't tell anyone when I just got whatever it was like soaked or cold or whatever, and the whole camp out there like, yeah, bro, we got like a whole freaking thing of extras. Should have mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
You ain't that dumb for doing it, bro.
do
You
you
ain't
have
that dumb.
do you have memories like people that you think people are gaslighting into like you believing?
Absolutely.
My sister recently told me a story of like how when we were younger, how we were play fighting, and apparently I was being
Mhm.
like a little too rough, and so she yelled like, "Get the fuck off me!"
Mhm.
But my mom was like in like the room, and she like heard that, and so like my
Oh,
mom
she took
turned
it the wrong
around.
way.
Yeah, my mom turned around and was like, What did you say?" And I immediately, apparently, like quick on my feet, was like, Fudge, what did you think she said?"
The Riz King. Dude, I remember once I was mad at my sister when we were roller skating around, or not roller skating, what do you call it? Not roller, but what's the scootering around?
Oh
The
yeah,
Razor scooters. We were doing that around my grandma's. I drive it. She had this big eye drop thing, and we go around. And did you ever do the thing where you go down like a hill, you go going fast, and you jump off the scooter like into the grass or whatever?
yeah.
Because that was so much fun. So like I did that whatever, and I let go of it and it shoot it, and it just goes perfectly straight all the way up the little teardrop, up straight into my sister's ankle, and she just gets like KO'd because so it wasn't like the side of the scooter that hit, it was the wheel and everything, but like she just immediately just like ragdolls to the ground, and I was like,
Bro.
and you know when you do something, you're like, I don't know if I did that on purpose or if I didn't, and I was like, so I felt bad, but I also thought it was funny. And I got in so much trouble, man. I was.
That's fucking hilarious. That's funny. The idea of flinging a fucking scooter at your sibling.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude,
We
even
used to have
like
another game where we would hold it by the front wheel, and you'd place that in the ground. And if you angle it, you can spin the thing around it. Does that make sense? So you
yeah.
have the body where you would spin, you spin it around. If you angle it right, it'll keep spinning, and you try and put your leg and you jump over it or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember playing that game as a kid.
So
Yeah, you try to spin it around, try to jump over it. I remember hitting my ankle line. That hurt so fucking
oh,
bad.
the worst feeling.
It is the one of the most painful experiences ever. I think legitimately, if you use that in
Honestly.
like military torture, it's just a fucking razor scooter, and they're like, "You won't tell us information. Bring the razor
Absolutely.
scooter."
Bring out the laser scooter.
And you see like the fucking
Oh,
military man. No, no, he's like fucking shaking. He's like, "Let me
not the
free." I would give up every single facet of information. There's nothing the government could do to me worse than that.
For real, the razor is literally death.
But you were talking about your siblings, and it made me think of the the most. I don't know if I would say angry or upset. One of those two. Like the most upset I've been at my siblings was when I was like, I lived in Italy, and I got my first pet. It was a pet goldfish,
Mhm.
and I won it at a fair like on accident because I didn't know you could win fish there. But we got it, and like we put in like a
Yeah, that's
little
kind of
bit,
cool.
yeah, and then we put in like we got like a little like one of those cheap ass fucking fish tanks. We were gonna upgrade it like later, but it was just like for the night. That's what we got, and whatever. And I go to
Mhm.
sleep feeling pretty happy about it. And I was like trying to think of a name to call it. I didn't even get to name it yet. I wake up the next day because my siblings are like shaking me awake violently. And they're
Oh
like,
no.
James, please come downstairs. The fish is dead. This is the scene. My brother's shaking me. My sister, my little sister, is behind him,
Yeah.
like a couple feet away, holding a box of tricks. I like
I can
walk
see already.
down. I walk down because I'm so like dazed and confused. I'm not thinking straight, and my fish is upside down dead. And there's tricks all in the fucking tank. And I'm like, what happened? My siblings apparently didn't understand that you couldn't feed a fish cereal because they thought it was, oh, breakfast food for human, breakfast food for fish.
To be fair, that's not the worst thing a kid could do. Like, I understand the logic. Like, how is cereal gonna hurt a fish in your mind?
I get that, but you have to understand, I was like max age like 7.
However, with all of that said,
Mm-hmm.
you hated them. That I know.
I was so beyond mad. I was so livid. I was like, you killed my first pet. I didn't even get to name it yet. And then my dad came home and he just flushed it down the toilet in front of me.
That's just savage.
I
Man
was
was
like,
cold-hearted.
I thought in my, I didn't say it out loud. I was like, you fucking asshole. What the fuck?
Dude, yeah.
Profiting off of my misfortune.
What was I gonna say? These are funny, and I have some I want to share, but I'm like, I feel like I do not want to document and record some of my worst childhood incidents in some of these things. But didn't we have topics last time we didn't talk about?
Yeah, we do have some that we didn't talk about. Hold up,
So-
before we
yeah.
go on another like
Mhm.
40-50 minute tangent about a bunch of nothing.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to derail the whole thing.
So
I can keep you going about scooters all day. Don't worry. But
don't worry, man. I know we can. I know we could do a whole podcast about scooters if we wanted.
scooters and ankle association.
Scooters and
specifically.
ankle relationships.
It's a
if you will.
universal feeling.
It's the one thing in the universe that unifies everyone is the pain from the razor scooters to the ankle.
Yeah.
If we find aliens, they'll probably understand it too. It'll be the one thing that we bond over.
bond over this. They all have a scar on their right ankle from the
They all
ceremony where
actually they all have space
become an
razor
adult.
scooters.
the hover scooters when they hit their ankle.
It's like we're in the galactic warfare. It's a Warhammer 40k situation. We're like fighting a bunch of aliens, Xenos, if you will. And
It sounds so wrong to say that, like, because there's like, you know, the real phrase like xenophobia, and then like calling the aliens Xenos, like, oh, like, is
And-
that like? It sounds bad out of context. So
It's-
anyone that doesn't
it's such
know about
to
Warhammer,
me, it's a cool word. Like it's a cool space word. I don't
what's
know.
a cool space word? But like to me, I'm like, if I say those filthy Xenos, like, and someone that doesn't know Warhammer hears that, they're gonna be like, this guy's a douchebag. Like, what is he saying?
It's some guy just walking by. You have the window open while you're playing Warhammer, just insulting your friend's Tau faction. Just some guy walks by. He's like, "What a fucking racist lives there? What the fuck?"
You're not wrong.
He's not wrong. But before we hold up, before we go into Warhammer, we gotta. I'm gonna derail us to go back to topics. We were about to do it again. Hold up.
Yo, I didn't realize that time. Damn it.
Whoops. That was my fault talking about the scooters. So, first topic that we didn't get to yesterday. Not yesterday, but last time. So, do you care for at all at E3?
I mean, here's the thing. I do. Like, I'm excited. I'm going to be excited to hear the highlights from it, but I'm probably not going to watch it because I am always doing so many things and have so much going on. Honestly, I usually wait for Maddie Scully to tell me like about the good stuff or whatever. Or if he's watching, I watch it with him. I used to, but
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't watch it like the whole thing now. Or
Because recently we just had a bunch like I feel bad for them because ever since COVID started, all the major like the gaming studios have pulled out. Sony's pulls out, Nintendo pulls out, Microsoft pulls out, and then you all have your Segas and your Square Enix, they pull out too. So E3 was canceled again, like just last week. Like for the
was it?
yeah, like for I think it's the 4th year in a row. Some
It's a shame 'cause
crazy.
it used to be like a really cool thing, you
I
know?
know it sucks.
I feel like E3. Like,
I
I mean, like,
feel
I'm excited somewhat for the whatever, I still remember Slime Rancher.
Mm-hmm.
Slime Rancher 2 was announced, dude. Because me and Maddie were sitting on the couch when we were watching the whatever, and we saw the very beginning of the trailer, and they hadn't said what it was. And I was like, bro, this looks like Slime Rancher. Imagine them announced it wasting an E3 slot in Slime Rancher 2 or whatever. And then it's like title card, and we were like, Slime Rancher 2, we gotta get it! We gotta get it!
I love the Game Awards and E3 for shit like that. That shit's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. Like that whole like just being with other people and being excited for like an announcement is so fun.
For real.
Honestly, that's like my favorite.
It's the indirect enjoyment you get from your other friends.
Exactly.
What we're talking about this, I was saying this last time in Destiny, I think it was, but I can't remember if it was, but stop me if I have, but I've had more fun in Destiny getting other people the loot that I wanted to get back in the day and already have than when I actually got it itself.
Oh, okay.
It's like more fun being like the person that's like helping that person get through like, dude, like I can't tell you how many times we've rerun the goddamn legendary campaigns again and again, and the horribly hard like content just because someone needs to go through the first time, and those are always the times I remember and enjoy way more than the first time I did it.
That's fair. That's a look at you. You're like a good superhero. Like a
I guess
you're like the people. You're the hero that people need. A hero that I need. I'm so behind on Destiny, bro. I still have it on my PS5.
You should play Destiny, bro. It's so good.
I have to get Lightfall. That's my thing. I want to buy the expansion so I can at least be not literally up to date, but like kind of like in the same ballpark.
It's not necessarily required. There's still a lot to do with even without. You bought the other DLC, didn't you have?
Do you get the campaign with the free?
You get the campaign. No, the campaigns are free. I think the first mission might be. I know last one's wasn't. That usually is how they do it. They do the first one free, whatever. What's it called? But usually no. The rest of it's not free. Like the new DLC, the Lightfall stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is the base campaign free though?
No, unfortunately, it's not. The campaign's really what you're paying for. So when you buy the campaign, the DLC, it comes with like a location, which is this one. It's Neomuna. It's like a cyberpunk city on one of Saturn's moons. The moon. I can't remember what it's called. But whatever. But the city, Neomuna is the city. It's one of the really cool, like, awesome city. Tons of sci-fi, cybery lore, and then you get a new subclass. This one's where you're pulling like the fabric of reality. Basically, it's called like the strand. You're pulling the strands of reality apart and doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like manipulate matter more or less, stuff like that. But besides the campaign itself and that, most of the other stuff is relatively free. It's just that's really what you get: the location and the campaign, and some like a couple exotics with it, from like the campaign and other stuff.
Okay.
But it's really the main mission and whatnot.
Yeah, because I've always been like when I first got it, I was so confused and like it's like how the fuck do I play the campaign? Like where the fuck is it?
They make it a little harder to get into it, honestly, than they should.
Honestly, I think it's a
lot more confusing.
That's the thing about Destiny. It's a very it's a difficult game to get into. It's just like the barrier for entry is like so high. I feel
it absolutely is,
especially with like the campaign, the DLC, and the UI too. The UI confused the fuck out of me when I first started.
It confuses the fuck out of me sometimes, still, dog. The only reason it doesn't confuse me completely is because I've spent so much time with it, but it's still got its issues.
Yeah.
It's like one of those games. It's like the Overwatch community. Overwatch ain't perfect. But, like, you still love it anyways, Like, Destiny is not a perfect game, dog. 100% not perfect at all.
I don't know
if
there is
close.
A perfect game, other than, like, Tetris.
I was going to say, Mans has clearly never played Doki Doki Literature Club.
If I'm being for real, I'm trying to think, like, what is a perfect video game, though? Tetris, I feel, is a perfect video game.
Tetris is really good. I could say honestly, I feel like at any point you could take a snapshot of Minecraft and say it's a quote unquote perfect game because it's so complete on its own at any point. Really, it just feels okay.
I feel like if I'm being for real, the first 3 games that come to mind when you say perfect video game to me is like Tetris, Minecraft, and Pac-Man. Those three are like quintessential. Cause like
Tetris definitely. I don't know if I agree with Pac-Man. Maybe I'm gonna out myself, but I always found Pac-Man to be a much harder game than most other arcade games made at the same time. Even for the hard ones, I found that Pac-Man could just be like most people don't sit there and want to grind it out as much as some of the other ones for like high
I feel that.
scores. You know,
I feel that. I don't think it would
like
be my
you'll play it,
personal
but you're not gonna
favorite.
go for high score.
It's not my
Mhm.
personal favorite like arcade game. Like it's still Galaga for sure. Or
Oh, for sure, same.
I guess if Marvel vs. Capcom counts, but
It counts if
I
you
feel like
include it. Yeah.
to me personally, it's like to make the perfect video game, it has to be the main like thing you need is simple to play, hard to master. Is like is like the base foundation you need.
Mhm.
And I feel like
I would.
Pac-Man is pretty
Mhm.
simple to like even a kid
That's
nowadays
true.
can pick it up and like be like, "Oh, I get this," you know?
By that definition, absolutely. If that's honestly a really good. I hadn't really thought about what I would just define as perfect game. I just thought quote unquote perfect. But yeah, if that's your definition, which is it's a good definition, like I said, I'd say that does fit it then because it's a very simple game, very simple. But like I was just saying, it's very challenging to be good at it. You
Hmm.
have to really have like 40 chess knowledge. You know, like you got to be able to
That's
plot
I
out
think chess is a
head
perfect
your
game
routes
too.
ahead. That's another one I was gonna say. Chess more so than a lot of other games, I think, because it's so well
Chess has been
balanced.
around since
Everything's
like
perfect.
chess has been around since like the dinosaurs probably.
Hmm.
Like it's an old ass fucking game. Dude, the fact that you can like I've been watching like I don't know why. Like I get random
Hmm.
YouTube shorts of like just like a bunch of random shit. And like right now I'm like having a bunch of like chess clips just playing. And I barely know how to play chess. Even I am fucking amazed by this shit.
You're
The
like,
fact that you
damn,
can
that
like
shit's cool.
yeah, like the fact that you can like basically win a game and like the first 3 steps amazing. Like what the fuck? Like how do you already know you're going to win? Like
And
that's
dude,
a
it's crazy,
mhm.
and it's the fact that like what I've heard is that most math masters or whatever, or pro math, or not math. I'm saying math now. Pro chess players and stuff. The way their brain works a lot of times is they don't memorize so much different moves to do, but they memorize patterns and how to fit them together almost.
Yeah,
Which is
okay.
like that makes it sound so much more complicated than I thought it was.
That
Like
makes it
I
sound
already
so
thought
much
it was
harder.
crazy. Like I already thought it was hard sounding. You just made it sound like way harder, bro. What?
You know what I just thought of randomly?
Hmm.
So there was this thing like I read. It was this guy in 2015, I think it was, who memorized the entirety of the French language to compete in a French like Scrabble game or tournament,
Hmm.
and he won. But he does not speak French.
Bruh.
It was some like insane shit. Like I don't know how you memorize the entire dictionary of French, but you don't speak it, but you somehow still are the champion at like Scrabble.
I get it. It's because that man is the biggest brain man. That's why.
I know he it was some fucking like galaxy brain shit.
Bruh. For real. That is insane. I can't even imagine.
It I don't
How many words? Like, that's a lot of words. Like,
like memorizing each individual word too. It was like what the
yeah.
fuck.
Because like we played Scrabble recently, me, Jess, and our sister, and we had fun. But one thing we noticed is that, or I noticed at least, is that none of us were even I love spelling. Like I think spelling's a lot of fun, at
Mm-hmm.
least. Um, and even I was like realizing how few words I really actually knew in the English language without looking anything up, especially. So, like I was trying to play without using my phone because I felt like that was defeating the purpose. But like I was like, man, I feel like I have a lot of letters here. Then I know these are words I can make with them, but I just can't think of any. And like so, because I know French is a complicated language too. Like if that's not his first language, bro, that's just like crazy.
Honestly, I think my biggest thing about Scrabble is like I would be pretty bad at it because I I don't really know how to like I feel like spelling is one of my weakest like abilities. I can like I know
Hmm.
words and I know how to like say them and like how to use them properly, but like spelling them is like no, not for me, dude. I
Oh,
struggle.
I love spelling.
I have to like use the fucking like microphone thing on your phone and say the word out loud just to get it
Hmm.
sometimes. And I'm like,
Oh
I
no,
feel
I
kind
do
of
too.
stupid.
I totally do all the time. There's a lot of times where there's certain words that like I've needed to I keep like having getting spell checked and I've not messed with at all for the longest time.
Hmm.
Like that's I'm not like got some big oh I memorized the English alphabet. James, what are you talking about? I'm just saying like it's like I try to at least to the best of my ability. I try every time I misspell a word. I try to make sure I remember to fix it.
Hmm.
And I actively like I like weird words.
Fair,
What's up,
fair.
man?
I do also
You
like
don't
weird
gotta
words.
don't beat yourself up too much.
I do like.
That's your friend's job.
Thank you guys. One less job off my shoulders.
For real. Anything for you, homie.
What a great friend. Might I say, what a whimsical friend, if I will.
Fuck up, bro. I would kill you.
Listen, hold up. I know they were clowning you for that shit, and I joined in. Honestly, that's not even
Mhm.
really that weird of a word to use.
Oh, it's not.
It's
And
not.
I enjoy them roasting because I find the fact that they find it so shocking. I find that hilarious.
I was caught off guard when when it was specifically the whimsical. I was like, I've said whimsical before. Like I've known I've said that before. I've
It's
said
a
that
real
to
word
people.
that has real uses.
Yeah.
And do you know when I was using it, I wasn't even saying it amount of quote. I was quoting the Rick and Morty quote where he says, it's kind of nice. It's fun and whimsical. And they were like, you said whimsical. Why would you say whimsical? Like they didn't catch on. I was like, and I was saying it because Maddie likes Rick and Morty. And I thought he would find it funny. Like, bro, I was like, I completely forgot about that when they got mad about it. I was like, bro, like, what? First of all, I'm quoting someone. Second of all, I'm quoting someone you like, not me.
This is your hero. This is your champion.
This is the show you like, not me.
You've blamed me for your faults? Dude, how do you think I don't know if we ever talked about this. The Rick and Morty voice actors are gone?
I have no clue how it's gonna go, honestly, but
Apparently
it's
they still got
something.
more seasons in them. Like a couple more. And they're gonna be doing it without the guy.
Yeah.
I personally have not watched
I would have been surprised if they hadn't kept going. I would have been like, wow.
Yeah, I honestly would have shocked me. But I'm gonna be surprised if because have you watched any of the new seasons?
I haven't watched anything, honestly, even fully up through season 3. I only watched the first 2 seasons or so. I introduced Maddie and Gabe to because they used to think it was too crass when they first started watching it.
You introduced me to it too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And we were watching because we used to watch it on what was that? What's that French Daily Motion?
Yeah.
I think is what it's called. It's this French like YouTube equivalent thing, and they have so many tons of movies I've watched on there. And they really don't have any ads. It's pretty much just like a different YouTube, but they have a lot of stuff. And they had Rick and Morty at the time on there.
Hell yeah.
And we used to watch it when camping together.
I've only seen up to season 4, I think. I think I've only seen it, yeah. Because I think we're on season 6 or 7, something like that.
Something like that. It sounds right.
Yeah, something like that.
You know more than me.
I don't know how you feel. I personally just kind of fell off the show.
Yeah, how I felt too. I enjoyed it a lot, and I still think it is a good show. But I don't know. Like with all the branding and marketing everywhere, it just kind of became just another generic thing. Where it just kind of felt like it just wasn't for me. And I don't know. When I looked at it more, also I kind of didn't like the character. I always complained about I don't know. I don't like the family dynamic in the show. It's just. I get it's supposed to be a shitty family dynamic.
They feel so nihilistic towards each other. They feel so
angry
and bitter.
I get they're supposed to be like a really shitty family dynamic, but you got
they feel the shitty part. They just don't feel like the family part.
Yeah. I'm like I genuinely do not see any of them as good people. It's like, dude, you can't make the person do something super goofy one episode and then suddenly go super serious. And I don't know. It doesn't really work for me, but I know it's a popular show. But what even were we saying?
Bruh. We were talking about E3.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. God bless.
God bless. It's okay. It's okay. This is what the people are here for.
This is what absolutely.
So I think it's safe to say we are both sad about E3's passing away.
Goalie's gonna be actually like
yeah.
sad.
I am pretty sad about it because I do enjoy it. I do like it. I do like kind of watching whatever like clusterfuck happens because like usually something goes wrong, at least for one of them.
Mhm.
Like I remember
I'm-
that guy for
Mhm.
Xbox who like went up there and he was like super nervous and shaky the whole time. I felt bad for him, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I do
Nintendo
remember
is
that.
always really fucking weird with theirs. Like they always do some weird wacky shit that
To
makes
be fair,
everyone
it's
cringe.
Nintendo.
Yeah, it is Nintendo.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nintendo, actually, did you see the greatest movie of all time recently?
No, but unironically, I saw someone had posted one of the songs, when a clip from it, and like they're
it
like his
Peaches?
voice is. Yes, and they're like his voice is so good, and I listened to the song, and I ain't gonna lie, it's not my thing, but like I did not think it sounded that great. The song.
Okay, hold on. There's something I wanted to bring up with the Mario movie. So,
What?
like, well, it was like the day before it released. The Rotten Tomato scores were released, and I will say, this this movie was fucking panned when it first when the reviews first came out. It's sitting at a like 54, I think, right now. When it first came out, it was like at a 44. Like it was bad. It was
I
so
ain't gonna
bad.
lie, it's a Mario movie. What do you
Yeah, that's my thing.
is gonna-
It's a Mario fucking movie. What the fuck did you expect was gonna happen? And people threw a shitstorm about it because people were so upset about the fucking score. And here's my thing: is later on the next day when like the movie was publicly available for everyone,
Mhm.
the audience score was released and it was like in the 90s. Like people liked it because whatever.
Typical, yeah.
Yeah, typical. And people were like, "See, guys, look! The audiences love it." And I was like, "I thought we didn't care about reviews. I thought the reviews didn't matter."
That's what we said 5 minutes ago, not now.
This my fucking thing is like, especially with Rotten Tomatoes, because like Rotten Tomatoes is a fucky website. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't even work the way you think it would. So how it works is like,
Hmm?
if you have a, let's say 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's not
Okay.
because they like collectively were like, one person gave it a 90, one person gave it like a 60, and it like averages out. It's none of that shit. It's like this person gave it a good review. Oh, it's more like 3 people gave it a good review, one person gave it a bad review. So we're gonna ratio that into a 75. It works
Bruh.
like that. It's not like a it's
Doesn't
really
make any
weird,
sense.
stupid. It's dumb. So like, I wouldn't even like trust Rotten Tomatoes with that kind of thing, anyways. Because like,
Yeah, it's not even reliable.
if a movie was like a 6 out of 10, but it was like all, I mean, that's considered positive. So
Mhm.
yeah, and they was in every single review was a fucking 6 out of 10. It would get 100, and it's not like what, huh?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I just don't understand people who like, if you like a movie, just like a movie.
Yeah, you don't have to say it's
You
the
don't-
best thing in the world.
Like, I don't like good movies. I like Jurassic Park 3. That's not a good movie. I like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That movie is dog shit.
Yeah, I like Jurassic Park 3, so I guess I don't like bad movies too. 'Cause I still enjoy that movie.
I like that movie. I enjoy it, but I can acknowledge it's not a.
Probably one of my favorite ones. Yeah, but
It's not a great
I'm not
movie.
gonna tell you it's the best.
And it's just that thing where it's like people have to like feel like their movie is like cinema. This is the peak of cinema for them to feel like they have the right to enjoy it. I feel it's so weird.
I do also get liking or wanting your things to be deep and stuff.
Yeah,
that
I get that.
but I don't quite get where you want to do it for everything. In my I
Yeah.
don't know. Like when I went and saw Pixels, the movie, which I kind of feel like somewhat sort, it's a video game esque movie. Like
Yeah, it
Definitely
deals
not a
with
serious
the video
movie, but-
games.
I think it's a relatively when it first came out, it wasn't regarded very well. But I think it's got a slight amount of like niche people's like, oh, that was a funny ass movie.
I remember
At
seeing
least
it
from
as
what
a
I've
kid.
seen.
I remember seeing that movie as a kid. I don't remember anything about it though, other than the ending with the Donkey Kong.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's fine. But like, I wasn't going to and expecting it to be, something crazy. Of course, I didn't think it was going to be like.
It's
I
a-
knew it was going to be kind of campy and goofy.
Yeah, it's just so mind-boggling to me. And people were acting surprised when the fucking scores were reviewed too. Like, it's a fucking Mario movie. You have essentially nothing to work off. It feels so strange.
I'm going to be honest.
It's a strange
It
concept.
doesn't even feel like
even
they could have made a movie.
It feels like such a stupid idea to make a movie about Mario. It's literally the franchise known for having no story. And what the fuck is a movie? A goddamn story.
I mean, yeah, like I have like a crap ton of the Lego Mario stuff. I don't even really play Nintendo games, but I still, I have appreciation for Mario and his place in, like
Yeah,
game history. How iconic and classic he is. He's kind of cool. He's a little character,
Yeah.
just jumping around doing his thing, having fun.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't want to turn to a movie. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily. We don't need a Skyrim movie. We don't need a. It's not that you can't do it, but my point, like, why would you do it of all video games? Why would you choose the 2D platformer?
Speaking of movies that don't need to be made, that have no purpose to be made, did you hear? I thought this was a fucking April Fool's Day joke that was late. Apparently, for real, there's going to be a live-action Minecraft movie.
Oh no! Why?
Starring Jason Momoa, the Aquaman.
No, that's got to be a joke. That can't be real.
No. I dare you. I dare you to look this up right now.
Why is Steve so buff? Steve's just an average guy. Like, he's just a little dude doing his thing. He's mining. He's not been pumping iron and.
I don't understand this. I don't understand the concept of taking Minecraft and making it a live action Aquaman. I could at the very least understand kind of to a certain extent if it was animated. At the very least.
I could get that. Yeah,
I could get that.
At least the Mario movie's animated. They didn't try and make this one live action too.
Exactly.
They learned their lesson last time.
Oh my god. Just what are you gonna do in the fucking Minecraft movie? I'm laughing so much because this is such a stupid concept.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is like the best movie that's gonna come out.
Oh my!
It'll rival. What was it? Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. Holy shit!
I saw a meme today, and it was like a meme when I found out Romeo and Juliet weren't actually gnomes. And it just brought back so many memories. I was like, yo.
I remember really liking that movie as a kid. Like, I did
like it. Yeah, I thought it was the fucking funniest shit ever.
Did you see that they made a sequel to that movie?
I didn't see it, but I did see that they made a sequel.
Sherlock Gnomes.
Wait, no, I have seen that. It was on one of those compilation discs I saw someone put on YouTube of cringe movies, and they just had them like re-uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
So someone did a video on like some of these really god awful movies as a joke, and someone uploaded the actual movies, and they were up there for a while.
Sherlock Gnomes isn't one of the greatest cinematic achievements of our lifetime? You're telling me?
Yes, it literally is. It's such a good movie. The story, the
Sherlock
character writing.
Gnomes is up there with the Minecraft movie, Morbius, Citizen Kane, and
The Godfather.
And dare I say, Who Saved Captain Alex? Is one of the greatest cinematic achievements mankind has ever made.
Captain Alex.
That movie is fucking awesome. Like, unironically, that movie's fucking awesome.
It is, but do not start a tangent on it because we could go off. That is such a great passion project.
Aren't they making another one? Like, they're making a sequel?
Yes, yeah. That's the true. That's where you can show that passion sometimes can even surpass. Like you don't have to have necessarily the best stuff. They don't have a lot of talent or money. They just have passion, and that's what they need.
Yeah, unironically, that movie fucking rocks because there is so you can tell everyone was so excited and happy to make that. Why are you clawing at me? You're so happy and excited to make that movie.
It's such a good movie.
It shines through. My cat was just fucking on the back of my chair, just swiping in my head.
Like, die, master, die.
Die. Cease to exist, you filthy hooligan. I feel like hooligan is a word to make fun of more than whimsical.
Hooligan. Yeah, that's a pretty good word.
That's pretty.
I'll have to start using that now. See, every time I hear a funny word like that now, I'm like, okay, I got to use that now in front of them.
I love learning like weird ass words just so I can insult people in creative ways.
Learn how to speak in like Icelandic. I think it's like the hardest language. Isn't that the language people always talk about being the hardest one in the world or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Learn Icelandic curse words to say at people.
Or even like old ass insults. There's some funny ass like Shakespeare insults. Hold up, there's like one of the.
Oh yeah.
It had something to do with like an egg. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I also remember like a daft dolt. I remember learning that one, and I just started using it. Like it's a common thing I say now.
That's goated.
I'm trying to remember. It's like what the fuck was it? It'll come to me.
Yeah. That's how it always is.
Hold it, wait. Let me look it up real quick, and maybe I can find it. It's something to do with an egg. I'm looking up old insult egg. I don't think it's gonna pop up. It has nothing showing up. Egg. Do you remember the most liked picture in the world? Egg thing?
That egg thing.
Yeah. They tried to do something afterwards too with it, and I thought it was so stupid.
I couldn't bring I was too edgy at the time. I was like, no, I'm not gonna like it. I was like, I don't give a shit.
I'm glad I wasn't the only person.
I was like, I don't give a fuck either way. I was like, I'm not gonna go fucking like a stupid egg post just because Kim Kardashian's sister has more. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm carried away.
I remember being like, I'm too fucking cool to like this picture. I'm not helping this person.
Yeah. I didn't think of the idea. Honestly, to be honest, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it today, but that's not the point. I'm trying to act like I've improved, not.
I wouldn't like it today either. I would not like it because I'm like, oh, I'm too good for this. I'm better than that.
Mm-hmm. For real.
The edge certainly never goes away.
For real.
For real. I could fucking. I still have a bunch of edgy ass clothes that I still wear. If I still had those fingerless gloves, I would still wear them.
Bro, I only wear edgy ass clothes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck my sister, by the way, for hiding those away from me for years.
Why?
I don't know if I ever told you the story about when you gave me those gloves, those biker gloves, those leather gloves. Yeah. I wore them like all the fucking time my freshman year. Like almost every day, I would wear them. It felt like. And everyone just kind of knew me like yeah, everyone just kind of knew me from that. Hunter. They just knew me like that. That was my thing apparently. Mm-hmm. And like one day, I leave them in my room on my bed because I go take a shower.
Oh no!
I come back into my room and they're just not there, and I don't find them, and I'm upset about this for like years afterwards. And one day, we're playing like this. You're playing this game called like. It's a Marvel like board game. It's like Among Us essentially. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the name of it.
It's like Among Us.
It's literally just fucking Among Us, but Marvel.
You mean Clue?
No, it's not Clue. It's Marvel. It's like a Marvel
Clue
like game.
Is just Among Us basically too.
You're right. You're right. My favorite horror movie is essentially just Among Us. But we were playing that one day, and I brought it up for some reason, and then my sister like looks me in the eyes. It stares into my soul, and she tells me, "Oh yeah, that was me. I took them from you and hid them in my closet."
Oh no!
And I was like, "Excuse me, what?" I thought she was fucking with me at first. I was so mad at her. Like I pretended to be all like smiles and cheerful for like the day, because my sister was coming to visit. Yeah. I was so fucking mad. I was heated.
Livid even.
If we were in a room together and no one else was in there, I would grab the nearest brick and like smack it over her head really quick. And then just walk away.
Yeah, but you'd be wearing the fingerless gloves when you did it though, so
exactly. Wearing the fingerless gloves so my fingerprints aren't there. Duh.
Oh, he's big brain.
Big brain. Did you hear about the guy who put lemon juice on his head when he was like robbing a bank because he
No,
thought if he
why?
put lemon juice on his face, he wouldn't be spotted by the cameras. He would be invisible.
Bruh, that's just schizophrenia.
Broski had the biggest brain move out of everyone I've ever seen. They found him in a Burger King apparently and arrested him.
Bruh.
Big brain ideas.
Man is he's big brain, big head, and big lemon.
Big brain, big head, big lemon. Big brain, small cock. Let's get into the last things I want to get into before we get up. The questions.
Yeah.
Let's hit 2 of these questions. You just sent me something.
I did not.
Hold up. Our first question. Do you guys have any podcasts that inspire you to do this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely 100% do.
You want to list yours, or James? Do you want to go back and forth, or what?
The main podcast that inspired me to do this was my favorite podcast, the Snark Tank podcast. They're
That's a fun one.
these 3 dudes who are just so fucking funny. And I was like, man, this is so much fun to listen to. I wonder if it would be fun to do this with my friends. And it sounds easy to do. And so, here we are, having a fucking grand old time talking about slapping razors on the fucking aliens' knees. Or ankles,
For real.
bad. But yeah, those are the main one.
For me,
then, oh yeah.
Keep on. Sorry. I thought you were trying to end there. No, keep going, please.
Oh yeah, my bad. And then the last one, Sleepy Cabin.
What's that one like?
It's this guy. He's the guy who made Smiling Friends. His name is Zach, and he has a couple other friends. And they just they're really funny dudes too. They talk about really
comedy
fuck shit.
Interview?
It's a comedy one.
Okay.
Then they talk about really fuck shit. I'll have to send you a clip of theirs. There's one that makes me fucking die. It's it's about this fucking gorilla who comes from the forest to kill a bunch of people. I have to send it to you.
God. Okay, that sounds pretty fucking funny, actually.
But what about you?
I was gonna say, I wasn't trying to cut you off a second ago. No, seriously, I thought you were trying to end.
My bad.
Do you have any other ones? I like getting podcast recommendations because I'm really picky.
I have a couple other podcasts that I listen to, after the fact, recently.
Mm-hmm. But those are the ones that inspired you, yes.
There's one called Sacred Symbols I listen to. It has this other guy from the podcast I just listed, the Snark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
He's on it, and that's how I found it. Where all they do is they talk about video game updates, specifically focusing on PlayStation, but just in general, they'll talk about video game
PlayStation,
updates.
bro. You lost me, man. I'm sorry.
I know. And then the other one I listen to is a Pokemon podcast I listen to.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty based.
Pretty based.
I listen to so many different ones, but if I had to go with the ones that I religiously were that were inspired me, there's 2. Then it would be one. It's this random little podcast, and it's on Spotify, I think, and YouTube and whatnot, called the Kryptonaut Podcast. And I was trying to find stuff to listen to, to go to bed, and I wanted to find some interesting stories. So I thought, a cryptid podcast. That sounds kind of cool, Bigfoot stuff, Mothman or whatever. And I found that this podcast was so funny. It was just 3 dudes just chatting, and they would always be trying to be serious, and then one of them, it would always change who it was. Because at first it was man, that one friend's always being an asshole. And then as I started to realize, who the friends are, it was always changing who was the one starting it. But they would say something funny, and I would be laughing so hard in bed I wouldn't be able to sleep. And I was and I remember thinking this could be the most fun you could have with a friend. This would be so much fun, doing this, whatever. And the other one's this one I've been listening to for 8 years. It's just called BBOR. It's called Black Box Online Radio. It's this YouTube podcast. This one dude lives in West Virginia named Ned. He's a little author dude. Literally, no, he's just this dude that lives in West Virginia. He's been making this true crime podcast on all sorts of different topics, the Zodiac Killer and conspiracy theories, but he's not he never really says necessarily what he thinks as much. It's more just the facts kind of stuff I'm talking about. But He's a very interesting dude, but he's been doing this just him for like the past 8 years, and he puts out this amazing content. So like, I remember thinking like, it's just this one dude. When I realized, I was like, this is insane, because it's so great. But those are the two that for sure for me.
Okay, I might have to check out the first one you mentioned, the cryptid one.
It's called The Kryptonaut.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
So it's like they specifically talk about like cryptids and they're just kind of going like little
Yeah.
fuck tangents.
Dude, they talk about some of the most obscure stuff. I'm one of those people that like I got to the point of like true crime and like cryptid stuff where I've gotten to the point where I have accepted I have to just re-listen to the same types of stories just from different perspectives or whatever again, because there's not that many things happening, but they have so many different obscure random sightings they have. It's great.
I love cryptids, dude. I just love the idea of them and how fun they are to like discuss and talk about.
Oh yeah, they're such it's a cool like modern myth, even if you don't believe in them.
Yeah, even if you don't believe in them, it's awesome. Like some of them are really fucking like creative too.
For real.
Did you ever watch this show as a kid on Animal Planet called Lost Tapes?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced.
What was it?
It was how I got introduced to cryptids. Lost Tapes is this Animal Planet show. It's like each episode's like 20, 25-ish minutes long, somewhere within that range. And it just goes over like different like found footage type film that they would create and talk about different cryptids. And it's very cheap, but there's a certain level of charm to it. I like.
There's sometimes like it's that raw aspect that's good. Like, and that might sound pretentious, but it's sometimes just like we were talking about a second ago, genuine passion and stuff can just be enough if you have the right person,
And I think specifically also horror kind of works in a lower budget sense.
It just adds to the aesthetic.
We never talked about this. Did you see last week? I think it was sometime last week or like in the last couple days. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie was like is going to get released this year.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, October 27th, I think.
It's gonna be. I didn't even realize that was actually still in production. I kind of thought it was in perpetual
dude, that
hiatus.
movie has been in production since the third game, I think.
Like 2018, 2012, something like that. Somewhere around there.
It's been even longer. It's been like since the first year that game came out. It's been in production.
When did it come out?
It's gonna come out this year, October 27th. It's been passed around to so many different companies. I think Warner Brothers originally had the IP, and then it got passed to Paramount, I think it was. And then it was passed on officially to Blumhouse. Who Blumhouse did the most recent like Halloween movies.
Yeah, that's where I recognize the name. Right? I wasn't sure where it was from.
Yeah. And
okay.
I'm not a big Five Nights guy. I was back in the day when it first came out. I think everyone was.
Yeah, same. I never actually got to play it because like my parents wouldn't have let me.
I never played it, but I always watched others.
And I was way too scared too. Like I genuinely would get. Dude, like, did you? I've tried to play a game called Outlast. It's like this asylum escape game. You're a journalist getting in there, and then you realize you have to get out because it's all bad, whatever. Dude, the game is so stressful. I've never beat it past the second mission.
Fair.
I get so stressed. I have to. It's not even like I get scared. It's because you're like sneaking around in the dark, and there's this dude, and you constantly get caught in the fear. Like, oh, I gotta make sure I don't get caught. I want to get caught. It's so stress-inducing. I wasn't even having fun.
You know what I think? Because that just reminded me. You know what I think would make a fuck ton of money? If they had a Resident Evil like survivor horror game, Jurassic Park.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be
I agree, like,
sick.
It would be terrifying.
Like, yeah, I would so love the team behind Resident Evil to make that. Never played a Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. I kind of
exactly. It looks sick as hell.
I'm thinking about picking up Resident Evil 4 here soon, but the remake. But like, yeah, like that. That's such a fucking good idea. I'm so mad it hasn't been made yet.
I agree. I think dinosaurs and like, because like Jurassic Park kind of started a trend with dinosaurs being extra popular. and like cinema and stuff, but Jurassic Park's original idea of having a modern monster horror thing never
Ooh.
really gets embellished. They never embellish like because if you've read the second and first book, right, or the first and second
Yeah,
book,
I've read them both.
you you know how like some of the books parts are so terrifying. Like
The
you're just
scene that
like,
gets me the most when I reread it, because I'm currently still rereading through Jurassic Park, the first one,
mhm.
is the scene with Nedry's death in the book.
Oh yes, dude. I had to. I was. You were at a sleepover at my house in the front living room back one of those nights when we were all in scouts together,
Hmm.
and I had to turn off the thing in my earbuds because it was too stressed. I was getting so stressed. I was like, bro, like I'm trying to sleep. I'm getting worked. It was the first time I listened to the audiobook or read the book ever, and I was like, dude, I know the movie goes, but I can't take this.
Nedry's death is so is so needlessly stressful and violent.
Or what about the active camo guys in the second book? Those
Oh,
dinosaurs. The
the
Oh, dude.
the Carnosaurs, the ones that like
Mm,
are invisible and they shine the light on them, and then they start like
hmm.
flickering. That shit is
Yeah.
terrifying when you read it. And it's only like a couple pages too, but it fucking
Yeah.
leaves a mark.
It builds up to that because they constantly talk about hearing rustling out around and the facility's open too. It's not like it's locked up. Oh, dude,
Hmm.
it's so good.
John Hammond's death in the first book too also is kind of ooh with the
Hmm.
commies.
Dude, it's well, not, what did you say? Hammond, right?
Yeah, John Hammond.
I think you said Nedry.
No, Nedry's death is fucked.
Yeah, no, John Hammond's book in the deaths. Yeah, for real.
Man, that book. I'm so excited to read The Lost World again. The Lost World.
And Muldoon's way better too.
Mm-hmm. I will say Muldoon is way better in the book.
Okay, big one question from me.
Yo,
What is your favorite part of either of the books? Favorite
my
scene, period.
favorite part of the books. Uh, my favorite part about the first book is probably still the scene where they do the fuck like they're on the like when the T Rex gets out. That scene.
Okay, okay.
I
That's a
forget. I
good
was
scene.
trying to
That is a
remember what
good
the
scene.
chapter was called, but it was not popping in my head.
Yeah, no, I can't remember either. That's a great scene.
That's a good scene too. Like, or even like the raft scene with the T Rex too.
Oh, that is a good one. I
Where
like
Lex
that
like
one.
mocks
Yeah.
it, and then he just like, oh,
And
on
you
some
start
for real shit, and it
fuck.
fucking starts swimming towards them.
That's a good. Yeah, that is a good scene too. I wish we'd gotten that in the movies.
Yeah, that shit would have been awesome. We were supposed to also Samuel Jackson. He was supposed to have like a death scene too in the movie too.
Yeah, because he just dies off camera, doesn't
He
he?
dies off camera, but it's kind of memorable how it happens. I will say
Yeah,
how
because the
like the hand,
arm.
yeah, the arm. But he was supposed to have like a whole ass like scene where he gets attacked by the raptors, but apparently like
Mm.
they couldn't do that because a hurricane went through the set that they were gonna film on and like kind of messed up the whole shit that they were
Bro,
gonna do.
that is literally means they're filming on site for Jurassic Park.
Oh God.
The book opens up with like that hurricane. That cold open in Jurassic Park with the random girl, the not vet, but the medic
Hmm.
lady out on one of the islands. I
Yeah,
love that opening.
it's a good
It
ass
starts going
opening.
around. But my favorite part, I would have to say, would hands down have to be in both books the parts where what's his name? God, I'm blanking on it. Who's the mathematician rock star?
Ian Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm, thank you. Ian Malcolm is wounded severely and high on morphine and ranting about philosophy for like 5 pages straight, and they're
Ian
just
Malcolm's
enduring
the
it.
best.
And it's just freaking what's his name, Michael Crichton, just spewing his philosophical stuff, but it's so fucking fired on, and you're just like sitting there for like 5 minutes, like, hold up,
Mans
damn,
is spitting.
dude, it's so great. I love those parts. They
I'm
literally find an excuse on both books for him to get severely wounded, so they have to put him on morphine.
whenever Michael Crichton just wants to start spewing all his like beliefs out, he's like,
For real.
someone hurt this man, someone hurt this man.
Someone hurt this man and give him morphine.
Oh my God, Ian Malcolm's fucking awesome. So is Dr. Grant
He
in the
is.
book.
Yeah, he's way better in the book.
I
He's not like a douche.
Yeah, he's not a douche towards kids in the book.
And he's like, because he realizes the kids are like in the book, they're going through a divorce, whatever. That's why they're kind of pushed off from their grandpa for this random weekend adventure, and they don't fit in,
Hmm.
which makes so much more sense than when the kids are there.
I will say,
And then,
one character who's worse in the books is Lex.
yes, yes, her writing is like very. I get it, might be realistic reactions, but it's very aggravating. Just the kid just
I just
continuously
kinda-
crying and yelling.
Yeah, I kind of tolerate it. I mean, it's realistic and I understand it, but like I just kind of
Yeah, exactly. It's like it doesn't help to the story. It doesn't like impact thing. It just kind of feels mad. But they're going through. So the kids are and the kids' ages are swapped too, aren't they? The boy's older.
Is he?
Huh?
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's Lex, and then Lex is the one on the computer at the end because she's little and young or whatever. And it's like, what? That's crazy.
Hmm.
But their kids are like whatever. So and once he's like a decent, and they even like emphasize like where he's kind of talking to them and he's helping them like go through this divorce process because I think he's probably had some life experiences under his belt like this, and so it's really great. And he helps the kids, and they really look up to him, and he helps them out like in these life choices and whatnot. He's a role model instead of being like a jerk and kind of like edgelord in the movie,
Hmm.
which doesn't really fit for him. Like where like the first scene where he's like scaring the kid with the velociraptor claw or whatever in the one movie. Like, bro, like what is he doing terrorizing the kid for?
I
Like,
always thought he was just being a menace in that movie. The first
like
scene.
he's just bullying a kid. Like, what are you doing? Like,
All
I don't
because
care if the kid looks.
Oh, because a kid
Looks like
insulted
that.
his dinosaur. He's like, because his kid insulted his favorite dinosaur. He was like, "You
Bruh.
fucking little shithead."
And yeah, and Dr. Grant, your Velociraptor is not even accurate to what they look like.
That's so
So
crazy.
what are you talking about?
I think it was like I remember like a story being like right before they were gonna make the movie, the Utah Raptor was like discovered. So it is technically
Well, the full name of Utah Raptor is, or it used to be, Utah Velociraptor.
yeah.
So it was a subfamily,
It
or
is
whatever.
by all technicalities is somewhat accurate.
Yes,
Just not the name.
it's not the. Oh, I don't think Utah Raptors are like 6 feet tall.
I thought
plus.
they were big. I think they're that
They
big.
weren't that big. Let me
Hold
look
up.
this up, dog.
Hold up. I may be tweaking. But I thought they were pretty big. Utah Raptor size 4.9 feet. Well, that's how tall they are. Yeah, okay. At the hips, they are 4.9 feet.
Maybe mix. I'm seeing. Yeah, I guess maybe they are. Well, I've seen pictures of like the dinosaurs from the movie, but I'm trying to see like real dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. It's not 6 foot, 5 foot big like it is in the movie, but it is a decent
still big, yeah.
sized animal. Like this is almost as tall as my older sister.
Yeah, because the one they say in the movie, Velociraptor mongolius, it's about up to your hips, I think, at the max.
Yeah, at max.
So okay, yeah.
Yeah, there
But,
are some Utah Raptors. Like I'm looking at some scales where they're like, they're pretty
You
big,
just fuck.
but I think some of them.
Sir, that is a T-Rex. He has 2 fingers there, sir. What do you mean, Utah Raptor?
My bad. Ah, man, so many cool discoveries for dinosaurs and paleontology, man. Fucking love this field.
For real.
Honestly.
Spinosaurus going back and forth every other week.
Oh my god, that shit has. Listen, I'm one of the few people who will sit down and read like the scientific papers of like these things, and some of them are really fucking petty with each other.
Dude, for real.
I love that like
Some of
some
that
of them,
stuff's stupid.
specifically Spinosaurus, like a lot of them for like their scientific papers are kind of just call out posts.
Like, yo, he's just adding someone on Facebook, basically.
He's like, nah, such and such scientist was tweaking. They were lying, not real, dude.
He tweaking.
Spinosaurus is a fucking enigma. that I don't think we'll ever solve, and I think that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it
If
is
you could
fascinating.
time travel back in like time, and you would see the Spinosaurus, and you would see what it actually looked like, what it did, and all that, and you came back to the
Mhm.
present, would you tell everyone what you saw, or would you leave it,
No,
or would you not, and leave it up in the air and watch everyone
no,
else
because if
fight
I
over
told
it?
people I time travel, if I told people I time travel back in time, they'd put me in a fucking mental hospital, dog. I'm not doing that. If I tell, hey guys, I time travel back in time, this is what special literally looked like. People are gonna be like, dude, you need to be medicated. Listen, but if they would believe me, I probably would tell yes. 'Cause I'd want to
I
know.
think it would be funnier to not tell anyone and just kind of like let the
Yes, but don't.
chaos continue.
What? But don't you want people to know which one is right so that you get to see accurate depictions in all
You're right.
your things?
I'm getting the
Do you?
credit. I'm
Do
getting the
you? Well,
credit.
you get the credit, but two, my brother in Christ, do you want for the rest of your life to live with inaccurate Spinosaurus models, knowing damn well they don't look like this or that, they look like this, and you are stuck with every Lego set you get with a Spinosaurus looking bad forever?
Is there
You're
a Lego
fucked.
Spino?
There's not yet, no. But if there ever was a chance of getting one, if it's inaccurate, I know who to blame now.
It's me.
It's you.
And with that, I think we can call it an episode.
Sounds good.
All right, I've had a pretty good time here. So,
Oh yeah, bro. Dude, I always have fun.
I always have
I
fun.
used to like dread like because I'd be like, oh man, I gotta like fit this into the schedule. But once I just started like, once I've gotten like the rhythm of like I have this time in the afternoon free, I look forward to these.
I do. I love them. I used to be scared. I was like, I don't know if my
Exactly.
friends
Like,
like doing
that's
this or not, or like if I'm
that's
just
what
really
I was,
dumb.
I was gonna say. I don't know. Like I get like pressure. Like feel like oh man, I've got to do enjoying all this effort. It's like it's commitment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've gotten over that part at least. The like I could do this every week.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people we won't name.
Certain people who will not go named,
They're
stuck
looking
in
for
the
healthcare
middle
insurance.
of West Virginia, will not go named.
Well, not go named.
But we do have a great time. I know when they do come on, they also have a good time. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, we don't have a good time when they're on. We don't have a good time.
Exactly.
But,
When they're on here,
eh?
I fucking hate it. I can't fucking stand them.
Worst
I can't
day of
stand
the
their
week.
voice. Fuck that.
Literally, like nailed on a chalkboard.
Honestly, makes me want to bash my skull into like the nearest rock.
For real, he is literally me.
Swiftly and whimsically as possible.
Swear to God.
So if you liked today's episode, please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun shit. And we will catch you next week.